questions before he goes to sleep. Like you guys know, if you guys have kids, there's a million things the kids have to do right before he has to go to sleep. And then his go-to is that he's hungry. Right? So he's always saying he's hungry. And last night was the best example of how he used questions in his advantage. Because he would ask me, hey mom, do you think it's sad that some kids have to go to sleep when they're hungry? That's really sad, the naive me. And immediately he goes, when I have kids, I would never let them go to sleep. Mom, would you? And there we go. It's 11 p.m. We're eating spaghetti downstairs. And so he got me there. So this is kind of what I use in the business here. So questions are powerful. Kids know that, so now we know that too. So statements push, questions pull. When you say it, they doubt it, and when they say it, it's true. I can tell my friend, hey, you're being underpaid. Your job sucks. You're worth more. Or I can ask her, do you think your job is paying you what you work? And she can say, no, I'm underpaid and I'm worth more. It's more powerful when they say it. Right? And then questions in your back pocket could be like a GPS with directions. Right? So you basically have questions that lead the client or the teammate to the destination you want them to go to. Now they're going to throw objections. There's going to be roadblocks. But if you have enough questions in your back pocket, you can throw them out to redirect them to where you want them to go. And questions let you gather data so you don't make assumptions. So let's talk about a client appointment. If I only have 30 minutes to sit down with a client, the 3 slides I would do is a disappearing man, compound interest, and increasing responsibilities. Why? Because that's when I ask the most questions. So let me go ahead, I'll role play this really quick. So let's say Jen. Jen, you see here husband and wife making $3,500 a month. They have a little kid, and these are their bills. They have mortgage, cars, insurance, credit cards, utilities, groceries, childcare. Comes out to $7,000 a month. What do you notice about the money they're making and the money they're spending? Whatever they make comes out. And then looking at these bills together, is there anything unique about these bills, or are they just everyday, ordinary bills? Yeah. So let's say, right, there's no vacations in here, right? There's no private yacht in here. As well. So in your opinion, what could be the worst thing that can happen to this family financially? Lose their job, because now they lose their income. Now I give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they can pick up odd jobs, get licensed with us, make some extra money. What's even worse than losing their income temporarily? Permanently. If God forbid somebody passes away with no life insurance, not enough life insurance, or the wrong type of life insurance. Now Jen, if this happens, you see $3,500 is coming in, do you think the bills are magically going to be cut in half as well? So if that happens, what is the family going to lose? Everything. And can you see why having life insurance is so important? Yes. So all of that were all questions, right? And then some other questions I ask on that appointment is, if God forbid something happens to you, do you want your family's financial situation to be better? At least the same or worse, right? And Jen, most people will say better. Right? So if something did happen to you today, would they be better? Some other questions with group life, if they have group life. When you don't own something, how much control do you have over it? Most people say none. Right? When it comes to your family, how much risk do you want to take? Some other questions that we have, most questions, a lot of times, I don't just ask just because. Right? They're questions with intention. Intention either to direct them or intention to gather data. So this is a question I ask to gather data because I might need to use it later on. So the question I ask is, I tied you to a lie detector, and I ask you how much money do you spend unnecessarily a day? How much would you do that? Right, this is good because I recently had a field training appointment. 2 of the clients we got last month, they said they waste about $2,000 a month unnecessarily, completely. Right now, when it came to closing, the husband said, you know what, we just can't afford it. Right? So at that time, I could go back. Right? So when I came back, I said earlier, you said you spend on average about $2,000 you would be willing to set aside some money each month to take care of this. If we can put together a plan that will be affordable for you, is there any reason you wouldn't implement that plan? And then if they already have a policy, I used to do this. I would say, go into destroying their policy. I would call it trash, which is what it is, right? But now we want to figure out why did you get this policy? Because people get it with the right intention. And so why did you get your current policy? Protection, investments, or both? If you were to change benefits, what would interest you most? Lower cost, more coverage, better return. And my all-time favorite is, have you ever used DocuSign before? This is great because the client knows we're going to be signing some documents today. And then also, it's not just for clients, it's also for teammates as well, right? A lot of times when I talk to a new recruit, it's my job to figure out how I can help them the best way possible. And I know the best way I can help a new recruit is by expanding their market and for them to come up to trainings. Right? So some questions I ask is, who do you go to for advice and who goes to you for advice? I want to figure out who are the most credible people you know, and then also who do you have credibility with? If you were to start a business, who would be your business partners? And then, do you have a strong background in finance and business? If no, which most of the time it is, would it make sense to attend all the trainings to give you the skill sets needed to be successful in those areas? That's big because I need them to tell me, I don't have any experience in this. I need to attend the training so that I can earn the right to make over $500 an hour. And then, are you willing to commit 2 to 3 hours of training a week to gain the qualities to make $500 an hour? Right? And then lastly, of course, prospecting is all questions. If the money were right, hours were flexible, would you be open to exploring a new opportunity? With no change to your current job, would you be open to adding additional streams of income? Are you open to getting professional state licenses for having your back pocket? If you could pick up a part-time opportunity that can help you achieve your financial goals sooner, would that be something that's worth your time exploring? And lastly, I'm licensed in the financial field. I want to get my name out there. Can I just pop by and share what I'm doing so that I can possibly earn some referrals in the future? And these are just of the few questions that I made up along the way, or my leaders have told me, right? And as I attend trainings every single week, and I learn from the best of the best leaders, I'm not going to be able to say things as profound as Shaq or as funny as Shaq, because he's very funny, right? But what I can do is I can take all that knowledge, and then I can write notes about it, and then put that knowledge into questions that's going to help me progress in the business. So that's helpful for me.